Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and we are on our Dino a Day review series, and we are on to the Manta. Now the Manta is a underwater interesting tame. We'll leave it at that. This guy is he's got some interesting abilities and some things that you kind of make your head shake like, wait, what's the point then? So the Manta, not too hard to tame on one specific map. If you go to Aberration, they're actually shockingly easy, because you can literally get them stuck in those little pools because they spawn in the pools over on Aberration. That's where I'd tame them. If I was you, that's where I'd tame them. It's up to you. It is almost worth 0 value to upgrade their health, by the way. So we're going to talk about their stats first, and that's just because, you know, well, look at, I'm sitting here on the stats. So their health goes up so slow in such small quantities that raising their health is literally 0 value. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it because it's just not. Stamina does go up quite astronomically high, which is nice. Food goes up pretty well. Weight is a pretty easy thing to gather on this guy, but still not worth it. Movement speed can be quite nice. You can crank these things up pretty high and they can move really fast. I'm not going to do it much higher though. What you really want is pumping melee damage on this guy. Now when you do pump melee damage, I almost exclusively do if I ever tame a Manta, and that's just because they are really fast under the water. And their tail whip, which is their attack, has a special ability because it attacks directly underneath them. And it's their only movement, actually. So, you know, that's kind of nice. It used to be the case where these things could just do this and fly up on land, which is kind of funny. And that's how it is. Unfortunately, it's no longer the case where you can just fly these things on land. See, if you take them out of water, they do die. I do have a special thing on where he can be out of land right now. But for the most part, normally water is where they go. This guy, just so you can see, has a attack, and there it is right there. If you use your stingray attack, you can see his tail kind of goes up and underneath, like that. And that's his primary attack. Now, under the water, it's not really useful. I mean, you can see this one right here. Boom, 254. There you go. So, 254 per swing right now is not a bad swing, and the really awesome thing is he ignores armor. So, if you do chase somebody under the water, ignoring armor is quite a valuable thing to have, in my opinion at least, so take that for what you will. And as soon as you turn on the sprint button, this guy can move very high base everything, but with that sprint on, and that ability to turn super quick, there are very few things in the game that have the ability to actually catch this dude. So, you know, that's that. Take that for what you will. The only negatives really with him is there are certain limitations, like vertical movement does not happen very well with this thing. He prefers to stay on one plane, so take that as you will. But what you can do, because he has such a high speed under the water, is you can kind of sit behind tames. Like, for example, this is a very quick turning tame, these megalodons, and I can just sit on this thing's tail and prevent it from doing any damage to me. Now, you can do this with mosasaurs pretty easily as well, because all you gotta do is this, just sit on their tail. Because he is faster and turns quicker than them, you can kill mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, literally anything under the water, because this guy is such a fast turner. Under the water, he's actually really overpowered. Now, I do have mode on where he doesn't take damage, so that's not totally true what you're seeing right now, but that's what you're noticing. What you'll also notice is that this guy is very quick under the water. I'm trying to go down a little further. It takes time for him to go vertical, which is unfortunate. You can see that that's something that's a weakness of his, getting up and down, whereas he has very fast horizontal movement. The Manta is not a quick vertical climber in the water, but that ability to get behind tames is really overpowering, and the ability to avoid armor is also something that's pretty high up there on that holy smokes list. You could thwack somebody if they jump in the water. Now the sad thing, unfortunately there's little value in this guy because most combat is not done in the water anymore. It used to be the case where you could slightly come out of the water, and there was a little bit of a glitch with these things where you, like earlier in the show, you can literally just jump out of the water to do anything you need, but nowadays it's not really the case anymore. They fixed most of those because he like insta dies. That's pretty much it, but once you do make it down to the bottom, it does take some time to get up, so I do hope that you have a scuba gear on, because unless you're, you know, really glitchy, you're not going to have much vertical play. You can look left and right quite a bit, and that does allow you to kind of like puff upwards. I know it's like making me dizzy to do this, but it does give you that ability to get upwards pretty quickly compared to some of the other tames. So that's that, and this is the Manta. He is a tame that is useful, but you have to kind of pick and choose your battles with him because, well, for lack of a better word, he's just smaller and a little bit squishier than all the other tames. So if they do get a hold of you, you're in trouble. But if you can manage to stay behind some of these tames, like the Moses, the Blessies, and stuff like that, you win. If you can get good with one of these guys, you just win. He does have that jump ability like you see right there, because if you're on the surface of the water, you can notice it. He can get some pretty big mad space, so you can actually climb most rivers and stuff like that, because he has that ability to jump over the land parts, which is kind of cool. So take that for what you will. That's one ability. And you can, just so you know, attack things while he is in that jumping animation. So let's say somebody's being cheeky and attacking you on a boat. Jump up out of the water. If I can actually... There we go. And sting them right off the back of their boat. Now, you're going to have to get pretty good with that, so that's unfortunate. But you can do it. It's something that is highly achievable. And they do get some good hang time, which is nice. Things that I'd level on these guys, just so you know, it kind of depends. So test them out yourself. They're pretty fun, but useful, not really useful unless you're doing some water combat. Alright, anyways, hopefully this video helps you out. Teach. Out.